So I have my vice president, certain vice president here to have a conversation about the Black Stars and other things. My brother, first of all, congratulations on your swag awards. I think
Thank
ever
you.
since you won, I've not met you in person.
Thank you. It's an honor.
Yeah, right, great. Bill is a familiar face on this channel. We've been on the channel for a while now. Bill, before we go into the game itself, let me ask you this question. Imagine Ghana goes to the AFCON and we win the AFCON or qualify for the World Cup and come out of the group stages. Which one do you prefer?
Oh, I mean, nothing replaces the joy of winning a trophy, is it? If Ghana manages to win, since I've been born, I've never seen Ghana win an AFCON. So it will be a new feeling, a great feeling, and it's something that definitely every Ghanaian will want to see.
I see. So Bill is choosing missing out of the US, Canada, Mexico, and replacing it with an AFCON trophy. Anyway, let's come straight into the game. So, Bill, we've seen Ecuador squad. We've seen our chances of qualifying for the AFCON. You see the squad, and like, what does it tell you? First of all, when you saw the squad.
I mean, it's a strong enough squad. Looking at the kind of resources available, of course, it's a shame that Abdul Fattah Issahaku cannot be part of this one, but it's understandable because he came back from a long-term injury and all of that, and so there has to be caution applied to his return. But looking at the squad, looking at the kind of players that have been called up, of course, we have a plethora of attacking players that can cause damage anywhere. Ibrahim Osman has been in good form since he moved to Auxerre on loan. We have seen Antoine Semenyo lighting it up in the Premier League. I mean, Mohamed Kudus has been here and there as well. Kamaldeen recently moved to Atalanta and is finding his feet. So we have the lineup, we have an attack that is very good enough to trouble likes of Chad, likes of Mali, or any other opponents in the African continent.
Well, a lot of people will say we are one step closer to qualifying for the World Cup because of the points gap. But we play against Chad. In the Chad game, in my opinion, is difficult because of the fact that we are playing in their country and also we are playing on an AstroTurf. How do you see that game?
Yeah, the synthetic pitch is not so. It doesn't give much confidence because the last time the Black Stars played on a synthetic pitch, they lost. It didn't go so well. I quite remember it was against Sudan where they lost by 2-0, and so that part doesn't go so well. And also the fact that they're moving to N'Djamena, Chad haven't played at home in a very long time, and so we want to appease the fans, please the fans, make them happy by trying to get a victory. But the good thing is Chad haven't won a game in the competition so far. They are literally the whooping boys in the group, and you would expect that if Otoado sets his side well and the players are really up to it, because mind you, if they win these two games, there's a high possibility that they will actually steal qualification to the World Cup. So it will definitely be on the back of their minds as they prepare, for first against Chad and then later against Mali.
But I think we go away, look at our squad, and the coaches make a bold decision in calling Thomas back. For you, others believe, personally I believe, as a country, we needed to show him that support. Calling him is very important. But will he be available to play? Looking at his schedules and then his appearances.
Yeah, I had a conversation with Henry Asante Chum about the availability of Thomas Partey, and he did mention that although he has to appear, in court on September 2nd in the UK, the High Court, he has assured the squad, and his handlers have assured the squad that he will be able to, return to come join the team and even be available for that game against the Chad in N'Djamena. So it's expected that Partey, even with what he has to deal with when it comes to the personal level, he will still be available for the country. And I believe it's a very good decision to call him. We have to show one of our crown jewels that we stand by him. The principle is innocent until proven guilty. At the moment, he's not been proven guilty. So we shouldn't assume that, he has committed any foul act. We have to stick by him, call him, and you will see him actually perform for the Black Stars. I believe that he will still perform. He knows that he's one of the captains of the team. He knows that there's a World Cup qualification at stake. and so he will put in his maximum best to help the Black Stars qualify.
Obviously, and for me, you look at him, and this is going to be perhaps his last AFCON. I'm not retiring him, but this is going to be his last World Cup, and he would wish to keep. Or looking at the fact that he was not present in the AFCON qualifiers. I think the AFCON qualifier he makes a lot of important games, and we are hoping that now that he's fit, he'll be able to show up and play for us. Let's come into the squad and see how Toronto will approach this game. Against Mali is an away. Against Chad is an away game. An environment that will be a bit hostile because, just as you mentioned, they haven't played in front of their home fans for a very long time. For any team, they will just want to win the game to make the fans happy. How should Toronto approach the game in terms of personnels? Looking at the fact that we may not be able to get some of the players arrive very early because of the transfer that they've been engaged with.
I think he still has a strong enough squad. From what we have seen with Otuado, he favors a back three, which sort of highlights defensive solidity in his team. I think he has enough good players to try that system again. We saw it work against Madagascar. That was on a neutral venue. And so I believe that he can try that again. Since we are seeing Semenyo coming in early to camp, which is a boost, is expected Iñaki would join camp later tonight with Mohamed Kudus as well. So that would be another boost. I think they would have enough training sessions at least to be ready for that game against Chad. I believe the attack sort of sorts itself out. Semenyo has to be in there, perform. Mohamed Kudus has to be in there, perform, and Jordan Ayew has to be in there as the leader of the team. I think in midfield is where decisions would have to be made, right? Ibrahim Sulemana is around, Thomas Partey is around, the other midfielders like Elisha also around, and so that is where the decision probably would have to be made for Otuado. But I believe that if Thomas Partey is fit and is available, he has to play. So now we'll have to look at his partner or whoever partners in the midfield, and then the rest sorts itself. And I think Otuado would have a good enough squad to actually beat Chad.
Let me ask you, with the goalkeeping, for instance, like Otuado says, Benjamin Asare is his number one. You know, people have still said, they don't think he should be the number one. Today, Atisiki isn't around yet. We have Asare, basically the first to arrive in camp. Will you still go for Otuado if you are in Otuado's shoe? Will you still go for Asare, or like someone will say you don't change it if it's not, you don't fix it if it's not broken?
Yeah, don't fix it if it's not broken. I think if Asare doesn't make a very huge mistake in training or performs badly in training, then I don't see why Otuado should drop Benjamin Asare at this point in time. And also, mind you, he was in the post against Chad before here and Madagascar away, and then in the friendlies in the UK. He's gaining that experience, he's gaining that exposure, he's understanding his teammates bit by bit. So if you move him away from there, then you sort of set the team back when it comes to the defensive solidity. So for now, I think you should keep Asare, especially against Chad, and then see what happens. Unless he makes a very huge and unforgivable mistake, which I haven't really seen him made, then there's no real reason why you should leave Asare out of the team.
Bill, last one. These two games, are they games that we are winning? Like, are they winnable games? What do you think?
Very winnable games. So I think the Chad will be difficult because of the synthetic pitch instance, right? Which would mean that the Black Stars players, some of them might be cautious and all of that, but I hope to see a very brave performance, and I think they will put it up because they know the urgency of this, the importance of this competition, and so I think that they would get a narrow victory over Chad. I think Mali would feel a bit more easier because I quite remember when I was with them at Mali. That was a tougher environment. The stadium was packed. The temperature was absolutely high. It was approaching 40 degrees, even at night around 7 p.m. And they had to deal with that, and they managed to overcome that adversity. Now they'll be coming to their own turf, where I'm sure the fans will be behind them and all of that. They would use that as the push to beat Mali.
All right. Yo, thank you so much.